Let's go. First fish in the boat, 1 pound, 2 ounces. What better way to say good morning and welcome to the channel. I don't know what the heck is going on over here, but they're rolling everybody in. It's like 7 or 8 cops that rolled up, ambulance, fire truck, and an engine. Oh, what's going on? What's up, everybody? My name is Taylor, and I am out here on the James River spending a Friday morning, a beautiful Friday morning, I might add. Sun's just about to come up over the treetops. It is going to be a spicy one today. The high is going to be in the mid-90s. It has been well over 100 multiple days already this week. So, first time ever, I've actually got the cooler strapped to the back of the boat. The ice and plenty of water, Gatorade, stay hydrated, keep those electrolytes up. We're just going to have some fun out here on the river. Kind of treating this as a little bit of a pre-practice. I'm going to be doing a basically full-day tournament here on the river in a couple of weeks with my buddy Josh, and so wanted to come out here and kind of just do a little bit of a pre-practice, kind of fish some new things and try to see if we can figure out a game plan for in a couple of weeks when we have the actual tournament. We are currently just past high tide. Like, the tide is actually slack right now, I think. You can hopefully see that the water is not really moving past these bridge pilings much at all. And if you've watched the channel, you know I fish here a lot. Right near the marina where I put in, which something's going down at right now, I'm not sure what. But right on the other side of this piling right here, there's some structure that I usually do pretty well on. But with it being high tide right now, I started up, normally this is all like a mud flat essentially up in there, you can't get to it. But I'm gonna try to run some shallow stuff, and been watching the Bass Pro Tour already this week. Started yesterday up on the Potomac River tidal fishery. And there was also a tournament down here recently, probably uploaded a video from. There was a tournament on the James River here last week. And they did really well getting up dirt shallow and following the falling tide. So that's what I'm gonna try to do today. And kind of just check some areas that I have not gone to in a long time. Try to not just keep fishing the same thing all the time. All that to say that I started on the backside here, kind of went around, fished my way around here, throwing some top water and flipping a little bit, and then threw that chatterbait right off this point on these pads and got him right in the middle of that. There we go. We're getting into some fish now, baby. About the same size as the first one. Maybe a little bit bigger, we'll see. Oh yeah, there we go. 1.7. Try it again. 1.7. Nice. Beautiful green James River bass. I think that is the first fish that I have actually got in the boat on a buzzbait so far this year. I got one, hooked one earlier this year, but when I tried to boat flip it, he flipped off and landed. I think he actually bounced off the side of the boat and then went back in the water. So technically, That's my first buzzbait catch of the year. The Booyah Buzz Chartreuse White. I am not throwing this on an ideal rod for this setup. This is a 6-9 medium. This is not a good buzzbait rod. Normally I would throw it on a different rod that I currently have my frog on, but I've stopped throwing my frog on a heavy. I used to throw my frog on like a 7.3 heavy, and I was struggling to feel like I was being effective with it on that strong and heavy of a rod. So I downsized it, put it on a 7-foot medium heavy, I think, or medium, and I haven't caught anything yet, but it's been more enjoyable, and I feel like I've been more effective trying to work the frog, which means I ended up putting the buzzbait on. This is the rod that I would normally have a jerkbait on if I was throwing a jerkbait. But what I do feel like it does allow me to do is make kind of short casts with that buzzbait up shallow like this, which ironically that was not a short cast, but it doesn't matter. I'm doing what I can with what I got. Oh, I actually lied. That's the second buzzbait fish I've gotten in the boat this year, because I forgot about the one that I bounced off the side of the boat. Was on a lake, on Lake Chesden a few months ago, but I did get one in the boat here on the James River, actually a little bit farther up river from where I am currently, and I had forgotten about that one. What? Oh, that was wild. I just watched a bass like, I thought I was hung on grass, and I just watched a bass like holding on to the end of this spinnerbait. Ah, come on, man. That is the third spinnerbait this year that I have had the outside blade come off on when I've gotten it hung up in something. I don't get it. And it doesn't look like that loop is not pulled out, so I don't know how the heck the blades are coming off, but maybe it just gets caught enough that it kind of slips past it. Freaking annoying though. Gotta find somewhere to buy a bunch of replacement blades. So we have some interesting conditions right now. That is basically due east, and the wind is blowing from the east to the west, but the tide has also now shifted, so the water is going that direction. But the wind is blowing stronger than the water is moving, so it creates some unique challenges when it comes to boat positioning, but it also kind of makes it weird as far as trying to decide where to set up and how to approach targeting areas, because generally speaking you want to be throwing up current, up river, however you want to call it, but with the wind pushing hard in the opposite direction, I don't know if that's actually going to be the case or not. Fortunately, this doesn't happen too much to me while I'm out here, but it does create interesting decisions to make about where to fish and whatnot. I have not even run the gas motor yet, other than to idle out of the marina. I'm gonna probably pick up and run up around the corner here pretty quickly. I might fish this little grassy island right in front of me first, but it's really easy to get locked into spending too much time in one place, and I'm trying to avoid doing that. Although I have so far had success on places that I don't normally fish. Both fish that I've caught this morning have actually been in a spot that I've never fished before. So maybe that's a good sign. I also don't hate that it is overcast and windy, because it has been brutally hot this week. The actual temps have been over, basically right at 100 a couple times, and the real feel has been in the 110, 108 to 112 range. And that's what I kind of figured it was going to be again today. It was supposed to be a little bit less, but it is toasty right now. Missed 2 fish off that little grass island behind me. I missed 2, might have actually missed 3. I had a 3rd bite, but I think it was small. Got the Mercury fired up now. We're gonna run up a little bit and look for something else. Well, that's not something you see every day. CH-47 flying low and slow over the river. That's sweet. That's what we're talking about. Heck yes. Let's freaking go. 114. Let's go, dude. He's got a big old head too. Look at the size of that head. Awesome fish. It's too funny. Little 10-inch one. How's it going? Yeah, I got 4 bass and 1 catfish already. I'd rather not have the catfish, but Oh, it's a small one. Going on a little bit of a dry spell. Been a few hours since caught anything, but I wanted to show you guys one interesting thing about the river. I've already gone up pretty shallow in a few places, but you can see how big the river, you know, this is here. And I'm not even in the main channel. I'm in it's called an oxbow, where it basically, like, off the main river channel, it like just makes a big loop and then rejoins the river channel. And there's two of them in this area, and I'm in one of them. But it looks, you know, pretty wide. But what you don't see, unless you're using charts in a lot of the areas on the river like this, is stuff like that. Not the bird, but the fact that he is standing in maybe 2 feet of water, kind of out in the middle of this area. The river channel on this oxbow stays pretty tight to this outside loop, and if you get on the inner 3/4 of it or so, probably you're gonna risk running into a mud flat. And there's a whole lot of that on this river. Back when I had my John boat a few years ago, well, at this point probably like 5 years ago, before I had charts of any kind, I was always super nervous about getting it stuck, and because of stuff like that. I almost got this thing stuck a little while ago. Ran up on a little creek channel way too far and had to idle out in about 8 inches of water for a few minutes. Okay, that was cool. First cast on this point. We got a pretty good one here, I think. After having literally just said we're on a bit of a dry spell. Get in the boat, let's go. What we definitely don't want to do is get a treble hook in our hands. That one might go too. He's close. You're gonna be pounding 3/4 or 2, somewhere around there. Calm yourself. Well, then again, maybe not. He's going 1.7 too, so skinny. All right, 1.7. Another solid little 1.5 pounds. He's a little, tail's very beat up from spawning recently. He's fresh off the post spawn. You know what? Something just absolutely blew up in those rocks over there. I try to be nothing if not transparent on this channel. So now, in a cruel twist of fate, I find myself in the middle of the river, stuck. I've been stuck for a little while. I just turned none of the GoPros are, really showing it. So, been trying to get unstuck unsuccessfully. Fortunately, we're basically at dead low tide right now, so the water will start coming back up pretty soon. It's just frustrating because all of my graphs say that we should be in like, I don't know, 6-ish feet of water here. Now, obviously, the tide fluctuates about 2.5 to 3 feet. Low tide will be, 2.5 to 3 feet lower than when it's on high tide. So, for example, we should be in about 5 or 6 feet right here. Actually, that graph says we should be in 8 or 9. Call it low tide, we'd be down to like 5 feet. Now, it's a river. Obviously, stuff changes. Maybe this chart is apparently not as accurate as it used to be. So here I will sit until the water comes up enough to, the boat is completely beached, or not beached, but, stuck. It won't move. The really annoying thing is that I got myself out here because I'm just gonna show you guys this. So I came down this edge over here, and I was trying to go up this channel, didn't realize that you can't really go up that way. So when I realized how shallow it was, I made a beeline straight out to what should be deeper water. And this little yellow point is right there. And so I should have been going out to deeper water, and instead all I did was get myself out here in the middle where I'm completely stuck and nowhere to go. I had been fishing down, like way over there is where I just caught that last one, and I had kind of fished my way down here a little bit and then cut straight across like so. So maybe if I had just gone back that way, it would have worked. I don't know. There's shad swimming around over here. They're in enough water to swim, I suppose. I'm in like 6 inches of water. And the mud is like 2 feet deep. I pushed a paddle down into it to see if I could push off the bottom, and the entire paddle just went into the mud like 2 feet. So I can't even really push the boat. If I was to get out and try to float it, I would just be stuck. So I'm not even gonna attempt to do that. Just gotta let the water come in. Well, that was quite the adventure. Finally got her unstuck. I think we was sitting there stuck for about 50 minutes, maybe a little bit more. Closer to an hour probably, if you count the time that I was idling trying to get unstuck before I actually got myself stuck. This is the end result. Definitely need to wash the boat when I get home, because I made a mess. Didn't damage the prop anymore, because like I said, the mud is super soft, but sure did make a mess of the old Mercury Pro XS and the whole back of the boat. There's a point where I shifted or turned the boat a different direction and the wind shifted and I was just blowing like misty, dirty water all over everything. That was fun. All right, well, that was an eventful trip. Did get a limit of bass. It was definitely not a big bag. It was probably, I mean, maybe a 6 to 7 pound bag if I had to guess. Maybe pushing 7. So, I mean, not terrible. It is Friday afternoon though. I did not actually take off the entire day. It's about 1:30 right now. I got to get home and unhook the boat and actually go do a little bit of work. I obviously don't, fishing is not my job. I am a project manager for a construction company, or construction and renovation company. So I got to go check in on some job sites and spend a few hours running around taking care of some things this afternoon to close out the week. And then I think I'm actually going to go fishing again tomorrow afternoon / evening, because my buddy Josh asked if I wanted to, and my wife and girls already had plans, so why not go fishing again. But that is going to wrap up this video. Thank you guys for watching. Hope this was entertaining for you. I did want to, if you've made it this far in the video, I would love to hear from anybody watching what your thoughts on how I have been filming and editing fishing videos lately. If you like the way I'm doing it, if you want to see more of something specific, for example, like more of me talking about why I'm doing what I'm doing and showing you guys the lures and the tackle and just everything that I'm using, as opposed to just, hey, I caught a fish and putting it back in the water. I try to not make every video the same old, but sometimes it's hard when I'm just the one out there on the water running GoPros and trying to fish and also make it interesting for you guys to watch. So hard to vary too much sometimes, but would love to know if you guys have any input or suggestions on what you'd like to see. So that will wrap this one up. Thanks for watching. Drop a like, comment, subscribe, all that good YouTube stuff, and I will see you guys on the next one.